Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Herwire. I'm the owner of Herwire Financial. Today is July 14th, 2023. After the market roundup, but before the disclosures, we're going to be talking about Medicare basics. I'm Stephen Herwire, owner of Herwire Financial. As of last night, the Dow Jones closed at 34,394.29. up a little over 3.5%. S&P 500 is closed at 4509.89, almost 17.5%. NASDAQ 100 closed at 15,572.04, up almost 44%. Gold closed at $1,963.80. Year to date is up 7.71%. The Bitcoin index closed up at 31,633.11, up over 91%. US dollar index closed at 99.75, down 3.61%. 10-year Treasury closed at 3.76%, down 0.12%. The S&P aggregate bond index closed at 200.84, up 2.93%. We're going to be talking about Medicare basics. There's going to be a lot of detail left out because this is just designed to be an overview. Working with a licensed agent will help you determine what plan might be a good fit for you. But we're going to talk about the four parts in a few minutes. But first, there's a few things that will be on the quiz later, meaning if you don't pay attention to this, don't remember this, it could cost you money. So when you're approaching age 65, there are things most people need to do to avoid penalties. Medicare Advantage is not a Medicare supplement. They do not work together. They work differently and cannot be used simultaneously. If you have a Medicare Advantage plan, you must not get a separate standalone Part D plan. There's a few exceptions to that, but I'm not going to be talking about that today. If you have an employer plan, because you're still working, you may still be subject to certain requirements, especially if it's a small employer. In this case, when I refer to a small employer, generally speaking, that is 20 employees or less. If you're collecting a Social Security or Railroad Retirement Board check at age 65, you will be automatically enrolled in A and B unless you put a stop to it. Just because you have an employer plan does not mean you can skip the signups for A, B, and potentially D without penalty. May or may not be true. That's why it's important to work with a licensed agent. They will know all these things. If your birthday is the first day of the month, this coverage will begin the month before your birth month. Okay. There are four enrollment periods. First is the initial enrollment period. Then there's the annual enrollment period. There's the open enrollment period, and there's the special enrollment period. In the initial enrollment period, there's a 7-month period around your birth month at age 65. For instance, most of the time, if you have an April birthday, this period will begin on January 1st and end on July 31st. Unless you're born on April Fool's Day, then it will shift a month back on both of those ends. Don't wait to sign up unless you've got a good reason. If you have employer coverage, it may or may not exempt you. During this period, you'll be eligible to sign up for Medicare. And if you miss the sign up for parts B and D, unless there's an exception, there may be penalties. For Part D, those penalties are 10% per year. For Part D, it's 1% per month. And unlike, say, for instance, car insurance, where you can sign up basically any day of the week, at least during the work week, there are limited times where you can sign up for these. Annual enrollment period. Think of this sort of like when you were working, how you had to sign up for your benefits every year. This is kind of like that. It begins every year on October 15th and ends every year on Pearl Harbor Day. It's available to everyone who is eligible. One can make as many choices for January 1 during this period for the following year. Okay, The nice thing about it is if you fill out one application in, say, the last half of October, and you decide in November, no, this plan's better, you just fill out another application. You don't have to go back to the person you signed up and cancel that one. The new application will automatically cancel it. And if you sign up for another one, again, in the first 7 days of December, it'll automatically cancel any previous ones. But once December 8th rolls around, your options become a lot more limited. And if you're on a plan that you like, just sit on your hands and do nothing and enjoy life. Open enrollment period. This begins on January 1st and ends on May 31st. If you are enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan, you can use this period. If you have a Medicare supplement and separate Part D, this is not for you. During this 3-month period, there is one opportunity to change. And once you use it, for the most part, you're locked into that plan for the rest of the calendar year. There are exceptions. I will talk about that on the next slide. Once April 1st arrives, you're locked into your plan for the rest of the calendar year. Again, there are exceptions, and I'm going to talk about them now. There are a number of special enrollment periods. I'm going to go over a few common ones. Okay, if you move out of the service area of the plan you're in, you have 63 days to sign up for a new one. Otherwise, they will just kick you out and you'll be back on original Medicare. If you gain low income subsidy, sometimes known as LIS status, and you'll get a thing in the mail that specifically tells you about this, or you lose it, you will get an opportunity to make a change. If there is a 5-star plan in your area, you have a one-time opportunity, January 1 to November 30th, to make a change. If you're enrolled in your state's pharmaceutical assistance program, you get one chance during the year to make a change. In New York, that plan is called EPIC. And if you have EPIC, you can make a change even as late as now. If you're in a declared disaster area, there's the possibility that you can make changes there also. And if you are the resident of an institution, this could be a nursing home, or it could even be a skilled nursing facility. For instance, if you end up going to the hospital and they say, yeah, we need to send you over to the skilled nursing facility, this opens up an opportunity for you to change. With each of these, there may or may not be a time limit. Talk to your licensed agent. Why should you use a licensed agent? Now, the thing is, licensed agents have to undergo rigorous training each and every year. I just got done with my national certification, and now I have to go through and do with each of the companies I'm with. And to do the national training, it includes passing a test every year. The passing score, depending on the program, could be 85% or it could be 90%. For these reasons, I think Medicare agents are among the best trained agents in the industry. I personally favor using an independent agent for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm a little bit biased because I am an independent agent, but the other overriding reason is they are not, motivated to sell for any one particular one. The last and probably the biggest reason to use a licensed agent is there is no charge for the consultation. It's not that there were swell people, we are, but we're prohibited by law from charging a fee. Now, every week I talk about having different plans for each stage of your life, but this one primarily is focused around the retirement segment. It's part of a great financial plan to do the Medicare consulting, because healthcare costs are among the largest costs you will have in retirement. If you need to reach me, go to my website, herwirefinancial.com. I do in-person, Zoom, and phone appointments. I am licensed or registered across several states and can easily add states if there is a need. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, just click on that blue schedule an appointment button at the upper right-hand corner of my website. If you want to see more videos like this, go to my YouTube channel, which is that red button. If you please share with your friends, both the YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. And there's some of us that are old school and prefer using the good old-fashioned telephone. My number is 518-631-2569. I will caution you, do not text there. I won't get it. The text number's on the screen. And lastly, some important disclosures. Opinions voiced in this material are for general information only, not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance reference is historical, no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested in directly. All data is believed to be from reliable sources. However, no representation is made as to its completeness or accuracy. None of this is to be construed as tax or legal advice. Consult your advisor prior to taking any action. Material contains only general descriptions and is not a solicitation to sell any insurance product. The article is intended to assist you in educating you about insurance generally and not to provide personal service. Everybody, have a great weekend.